I'm Spaztastic. Welcome to SpaztasticTV. Today we're going to be looking at this MTech MT-080. This is the old version of the knife. I mean, the actual knife itself is identical, but the sheath isn't. The sheath on the new one actually says MTech on it right here, and the little strap right here has a snap on it instead of Velcro that's peeling off of mine. And it's down here, and I'll actually just show you why they changed that real quick. Put the knife in the sheath and get her Velcroed up. The Velcro on mine's coming off, but the knife will almost fall out of the sheath when it's like that. So the fact that they actually put a little bit of attention to detail into the sheath and not having the knife flop around on your side, it's kind of cool. They say that this knife came out in 2017. It didn't, because I bought this knife probably 10, 12, 15 years ago at some weird store in Law Hot Springs. But in that time, I can tell you a little bit more about this knife than most people would. In which I'm going to go with one of the biggest cons of the knife before I go through what I've done with the knife. And the one thing is, it's a 4.5-inch blade, got a 4.5-inch handle. That could be a problem if you're a bigger person than me. If you see, my hand fits in this knife perfectly. Your hand might not. And in fact, if you see that moon that's over in the corner of the screen, that's about 6'2" in the air. And if I take a step back right here, you can kind of see that I ain't that big of a person. I'm only 5'5", so if you're trying to find a knife that fits comfortably in your hand and you happen to be a big person, just steer clear of this knife, because it won't be comfortable, because you'll be hitting this little part with your freaking pinky finger, or possibly having your finger over there. Also a hole for a lanyard in the bottom. Might have had a lanyard when I got it, but I took it off. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of putting lanyards on most things, because I have a pretty good grip. But no, I mean, I've used this knife for several things, such as gutting rabbits, fish. Not a good knife for gutting fish. For gutting rabbits, it works just fine. Use it for carving sticks, all sorts of stuff. And I gotta say that the knife blade does not really hold an edge very well, and due to the fact that it's a mild recurve blade, it's kind of hard to put an edge back onto it. You can still pick these knives up for not $8. I wish they were $8, but for about $11 off of Amazon. I'll put a link down in the description below to it. But yeah, this knife also has a pretty fat blade on it too, for being what it is. And this is the knife I generally carry with me everywhere. The only thing I would find a problem with it is that the blade's just a little bit too small to be like splitting logs and stuff with when you're batoning it, because you'd be hitting it just right on the tip. Never tested the tip retention on it or anything like that. It's just been a damn good, very useful knife for me. And say what you will about MTech knives. I mean, when they make a knife that I've had for over a decade and I'm still happy with it and still planning on using it, that ought to tell you something about the knife. But anyhow, if you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, let me know down in the description below. The comments section, if I can speak freaking English. But anyhow, I'm Spaztastic. You're watching SpaztasticTV, and thank you for watching.